Spotlight to our seniors. I'm going to step on the toes of his message just a little bit, but I need you to know something because I want you to hear it from me. Could we get some light up here? Thank you. Let there be light. I got to tell you, I mean, some teenagers, I mean, they show up and they're like, hey, here I am, and you see them everywhere, right? And then some, they kind of like, they're in the background, but they are so stable and so solid. One of the worst parts about a youth night is looking at who you're losing out of the youth group. And thankfully, we don't lose them from the kingdom, and hopefully we won't lose them from adult service in the church either. But it is hard, and I got to let you know that Aaron has been so stable with our sound team and with media that he's been helping out even on Sundays with regular worship, things like that. I call him Tron, because sometimes he tells me stories, and I can tell how passionate he is about it, and then I just look at him like, I don't really know what you said. Because he knows the world of computers in a way that I don't. I feel like I'm reasonably good with them until I talk to people like Aaron. He is highly intelligent. He's going to NC State this summer. And he's a good man of God, and so I'm looking forward for you guys to hear his testimony. Let's just have a round of applause for him.
Good evening. For those who don't know, my name is Aaron Meadows. Before I begin, I would like to thank Pastor Blake and Pastor Tom for this opportunity to speak, and I pray that my words will be relatable and more impactful than even I could imagine. I've been attending Liberty my entire life, and I've been at Elevate for 6 years since the 6th grade. Although I did not start participating completely until the 8th grade, I've been to almost all of their events, and it's been a blast. So, one of the things I will miss most about Elevate and youth is their home groups. I love them. I love deep study, especially when it can be applied to daily life, which is exactly what it was. And I feel like without going deeper, you reach a spiritual barrier that limits growth. This past year, we've gone through the Bait of Satan by John Bevere. There we've learned how Satan uses offense against us in many different ways. The home groups has taught us me more deeper ideas I would not read in a normal service. As when years to come in college and beyond, that's what I would miss most from Elevate and Liberty. So, I'll begin. I consider myself fortunate to stand in front of you tonight and tell you my testimony. At the beginning of Revelation 12:11 states that they, speaking about the angels of heaven, overcame and conquered him, being the devil, because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their testimony. So, let's begin. It goes without saying that I have a wonderful mother named Misty Guthrie, who I'm sure many of you know. Yes, from what I can remember, she has always taken my brother and I to church and kept a focus on God in the home. Once at church, though, it was up to me to absorb the information and apply it. So I always knew God, but I struggled on the application part. At a young age, I didn't have the knowledge or understanding yet to grasp the meaning and significance of learning about God and faith. While over time we faded out doing devotions with the family, it planted a seed that grew into a passion and will to learn about God. This all led to me getting saved in one of the most popular ways, during VBS in 2012. At any time before that, I always considered myself saved just because it was the foundation of my life. But when they asked everyone at VBS, I believed that it was the time to officially become saved. So here I was, officially saved and ready to take on middle school. I changed in one significant way going into middle school. I became quiet. If you know me now, I'm pretty quiet, and it's stayed about the same. In elementary school, I was too outgoing and proud, and I believed that God wanted me to quiet down to learn from the observation of how to do what is right in the world, even though when it may not be popular. I also learned to see the multitude of perspectives in situations. Being quiet, you look around at other situations and you see what people are going through without being in it. Just think about all the factors that go into a single experience with a single person. It's almost uncountable and leaves me in awe of God when I think about it. Just think about how much detail and complexity goes into everyday life for one person. You can think how difficult it is, parents, to keep track of your own life and your kids' lives. So, then think God understands all of us, everyone that has came, is here, and to come, down to the hairs on our head. That's just unbelievable to me. So for a while through middle school, I chose to focus on the negative perspectives and think pessimistically. A common example I repeated to myself was before every test, I would think, I'm not prepared, I'm not going to do well. I'm going to fail this. Now, I eventually did pretty well. help, but that was a bad thing for me because it never gave me any motivation to do well and to get rid of that pessimism. So it should go without saying that living life optimistically is way better than pessimistically. I'm sure that's agreed on. So later on, I did learn how to take my pessimistic overview and I took it and changed it into optimism. So my solution was to take my pessimistic analysis of a situation and think about every possible way the worst could happen. Okay. Then I would look at every other path and take it, and that would be my route. Be everything else but the pessimistic route. So basically I blacklisted every pessimistic possibility and that left me with only positive ones. So then in middle school, I depended on too much of my own abilities, and I tried getting through it with little God. That was not smart, not good at all. But in 3 years, I got through it. I learned how to experience throughout middle school God's peace and patience for people, being quiet, and that's what helped me do that. As Paul says in Philippians 4:7, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. It was that peace, or at least a touch of it, that guarded my heart and mind in middle school. Without that protection, I would not have turned out the way I am today with the uncountable conformity of temptations in middle and high school. In high school, I became more involved in the church and my faith grew substantially. On occasion, in the beginning, I would look up an interesting 3 to 7 day Bible plan, and I would go through it all in one night and take notes along the way. Now, at this point, I was so eager to learn that I didn't slow down to think about what I was reading. I had the mindset of quantity over quality. Later, I started to look for what all I could do, and the Lord opened up the opportunity for me to get baptized. And I got baptized back there. This was significant in my life because it felt like looking at life with a new pair of eyes, or even the opportunity to at least. Soon after, I met Kaylee and Merrick at Elevate, and that she gave me my largest spiritual jump ever. I was able to look at the level she was at, not spiritual level, not high level. Yeah, so that motivated me, and she provided accountability to get closer to God through the word, worship, and prayer. She introduced me to her, taught me to love people, just as Jesus would at his time. We're now to help each other grow through accountability and love. Now when I read the Bible, I have the mindset of quality over quantity. I've been serving the past 2 years in the media team upstairs. That's why most of you probably don't. That's okay. There I've mastered running lights and screens, and I'm currently learning sound. This experience has taught me more about worship significantly. Before I joined the media team, I understood the purpose of worship, but not its impact in my life, and really never got into it. I'm sure many of you can relate. At this time, I can relate to what the Lord said in Isaiah 29:11. These people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship is based on merely human rules that they've been taught. And it was just that. My worship was based on human rules that I had been taught. I joined the media team in July of 2017, and I saw worship in a new way. Obviously from upstairs, but I also saw it in a spiritual way. I could see its effect on people, along with how it affected myself. I already love internet. As Blake mentioned, I already loved interacting with technology, and I was able to direct that passion into worship. I got into it when I was able to see its impact on others and feel its power. Working before and during services allowed me to worship in a way that not only affected myself, but also others in the congregation. Some say that this would put pressure on me, but in reality, it just intensified worship. And I was suddenly given the power to make others feel moved during worship, along with myself. I already love worshiping, whether it be with my hands or mouth, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to empower each service to utilize the skills I was blessed with to enhance worship for the congregation. With me leaving to college in a few months, my worship now consists of training others to have the same impact I have on others and I cherish through worship. So, all that's good, but let me tell you how God is working through my life right now. First of all, as I previously mentioned, I am finding peace and joy through worship and leading others in the worship behind the scenes. Next, okay, listen carefully to this one. When I read the Bible, I give it read and write authority in my mind to absorb and apply the information. Did anyone understand that little pun? All right, one, okay. It's okay, Pastor Blake didn't either. So let me go over it. the first part stated, when I read the Bible. Okay, so I'm actively reading the Bible. Okay, next part. To read is to take information on paper and comprehend it. Okay, and to write is to take what has been comprehended and absorb or etch it into your mind. Okay, and then I'm giving the Bible authority over my mind to take what is read and written and then apply it to my life. All right, you understand now?
Yeah.
So the reason that's a pun is because it comes from the way computers and programs get read and write permission over other files on the computer. That's
My
right.
man. My man. Go ahead.
All right, let's move on.
All right. You're gonna get
When I was writing sermons, I would say to myself, I don't need to take notes, because I remember it. You know, my proud self. I never did, at least completely, to the detail I would like. Now I've been taking notes, not just to remember the details, but because I found enjoyment in it. It really brings me pleasure to take notes and then remember everything that was said. Now, I start looking at ways of application for what was taught during the sermon and then apply it to my own life. And then I can reference those notes to see how it's affecting me. And I can put everything that I learned into perspective in daily life. Lastly, I'm walking with God through the many temptations in high school, which I'm sure many of you can relate if you've been in high school. I've been given the position of a leader in school over other students and stuff, which has given me more authority to stay away from the temptations. Thank goodness. It's given me opportunities. The leadership of people has given me other opportunities, if nothing else, to show God's kindness towards others. I found that school is one of the places where people are most desperate for a kind person to come along and motivate them throughout their day. I really do thank God for that position to be a motivator among my peers. While my life is going well, there's always places to improve. So there are three main aspects of my current walk with God that I'm working to improve. First, I need to read the Bible and pray on a more consistent schedule. The way I'm working to improve that is I'm setting aside time during the day for Bible reading and prayer. Notice I said day and not night. I used to read before bed at night, but now with my schedules and my nights are getting later and later, I'm just falling asleep. And we all comprehend stuff better when we're during the day when we're awake and attentive rather than being tired. So next, let me tell you, I need to tell more people that I'm around on a daily basis about what's God doing in my life. Like I said, I have that impact on people at school, which others don't, and I need to use that more to help them affect and lead them closer to God. So what I'm doing with that is, I am in conversations and stuff, I'm leading them using key words to maybe have them ask questions to me about God or my faith. I want them to notice it and then question it. So I can then lead them and have them questioning it. So my final aspect of my life, I'm working to improve my ability to comprehend the simplicity of God. Anyone who has been to a Sunday service recently would have heard Pastor Tom preach on it, and I can understand how comprehending the simplicities can result in now faith. What I'm doing now is taking more detailed notes and doing my own research to learn about the simplicity of God. With all that said, let me finish by letting you know how blessed I am. One thing that I realized over my life is how blessed I am, how much God's blessed me with a wonderful life. So first of all, I'm blessed to have wonderful people in my life. That includes Kaylee and family. My parents and friends has always kept me in the right direction and corrected me if necessary. While I've been blessed with wonderful people, I also feel that I've been blessed to have patience with people. That is something that I hear a lot, and people comment on myself that I have patience. And I feel that's been one of my most useful blessings. I've also been blessed with wisdom. The wisdom to do what is right, to choose good friends, and to listen and observe when there's an opportunity to learn. Lastly, I've always been blessed with favor in adults and giving me wonderful teachers and leaders in school. This reminds me of 1 Timothy 4:12, which is popular in Elevate, and it states, "Let no one look down on you because of your youth, but be an example and set a pattern of believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in moral purity." I'm reminded of it because I try not to let others look down on me for being young, but to give others a reason to look up at me. This goes for teachers or friends or family. So while I am still young and my experiences are slim, I hope you receive something from this message and my testimony. Thank you for your time.
Amen.